you can never lose faith. When you don't see no way how, you have to buckle down and keep believing. God is always coming. The moment you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it to you. It's going to come. He just don't tell you when. If God told you you were going to be rich in August of 2021, do you know how crazy you would talk to people? But he don't tell you when the package is going to arrive. So here's the deal. He wants you to stay in faith to receive the package, because he only delivers to Faith Street. If you step off over here to I Don't See How Boulevard, he does not ship there. He only sends the boxes to Faith Street. That's how it works, man. Let me tell y'all something. Being successful is not a magic trick. You just have to learn the principles of success. I am telling you, your education ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, when you gonna ask him for it, and are you gonna wait for it to happen? Or are you gonna lose faith? Well, I guess it wasn't the Lord's will. How you know what God's will is? It all happens at an appointed time, but you have to stay in faith for the appointed time to happen for you. You know how old I was before I got on TV? 38. It took me 28 years to get on TV, but it happened at an appointed time. I just never gave up the faith, because I know if I quit, it cannot happen. If you stay with it, you have no idea what can happen for you. What you tripping for? You can't quit, man. Somebody having it way harder than you, and they didn't give up. You're tripping, man. Get yourself together. God got a great life for you. God got a plan for you that's so out of sight. All you got to do is ask him for it and wait on it and be willing to work. Faith without works is dead. That's all you got to do. You don't need no education. How God give me this and he won't give it to you? Made mistakes? But God don't ask you for your perfection. He asks you for your consistency.
Don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right. But he warns us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Now, the term steps implies process. Means it's going to take a while. Because a blessing given too soon is not a blessing at all. I can give my son the car keys now, but had I given it to him when he was 5, it would not have been a blessing at all. He can't handle it. So would I be a good father if I gave him a good thing too soon? Sometimes my goodness is proven by my ability to say not yet. Nobody wants steps. They're not attractive. The only reason we have steps is to get us to a higher level. If there were a way to get upstairs without going upstairs, we would take it. But if you don't have the $60,000, $70,000 it takes to put an elevator in your house, then guess what? You go up the steps. I take them one at a time now. I used to take 2 and 3 at a time. I ran up the steps. I ignored the steps. They were no problem when I was younger. No, went up the steps fast. I ran up them until I tripped on them. Excuse me, step aside, move to the right. I gotta go. I run up the steps until I fell on the steps. And I learned respect for the process. Go through the process. I prayed to abort the process. I prayed to speed it up. I prayed that I wouldn't have to endure some things that he wanted me to endure. I was working on the destination, but he was working on me. I'm not preparing the blessing for you. I'm preparing you for the blessing. The blessing is already prepared. That the work doesn't have to be applied to where you're going. The work has to be applied to you so that when you get where you're going, you can handle what you gotta handle. The steps.
We all have things that we're waiting for. Problem to turn around. When it's taking longer than we thought, it's easy to get discouraged, to become impatient. But sometimes it's not happening because we're not prepared for what God has prepared. You need more time to grow, to develop, to gain experience. Patience is developed in the weight room. Before you see what God promised, God will send you to the weight room. You may not like it. Other people are in the game, making progress. You're stuck waiting. You may not see anything changing, but something is happening. Patience is working. You're growing, developing, getting you prepared so you can sustain what God has coming. Don't get discouraged because it's not happening as fast as you would like. When He knows you're ready, what you give birth to is going to be much bigger than you've imagined. Maybe you've been praying, being your best, but you don't see anything changing. Have a new perspective. You're in the weight room. You're not falling behind. God has you right where He wants you. Now do your part and wait with a good attitude. Thank you that what you promised is on the way. If you will wait with the right attitude, after patience has done its work, you're going to see promises come to pass. We're interested in the destination, but God is interested in the journey. When we understand that waiting doesn't mean nothing is happening, it's all a part of the process, then we can stay in faith knowing that at the right time, God will get us to where we're supposed to be. While you wait, be your best where you are. God is watching to see if you're ready. If what you're praying about isn't changing, then God is using that situation to change you. All things are working for your good. In that weight room, I learned to stand strong even when it seemed impossible. If it's not changing, don't worry, you're changing. You're getting stronger, more determined. It's preparing you. You don't grow when everything is easy. You can't get that overnight. That doesn't happen on a weekend. It takes time. And I'll admit, I don't like to wait. I like to make progress. I like to get things done. But I've learned some things take time. So much is developed in the process. When you're doing the right thing, but nothing's changing, remember, something is happening. You're growing. You may not like it, but you can't bypass the process. David said, God, my times are in your hands. I not only trust your ways, but I trust your timing. When I'm ready, when I can handle it, you will take me to new levels of my destiny. Something may have your name on it. You know God has put it in your heart. But if it happens too soon, the blessing will become a burden. Sometimes God proves His love to us by what He's not letting us have. We just have to spend more time in the weight room, growing, learning to trust God, learning to keep a good attitude when things aren't going our way. The sooner we pass these tests, the sooner God will release what belongs to us. I used to pray, God, give me everything in a hurry. Now I've learned to pray, God, don't give me anything too soon. Don't open a door that I don't have the grace to be there. And one reason we get in a hurry is we think we're falling behind. Our coworker got promoted, the neighbors moved into a new house. We got to make things